Okay, so I'll be demonstrating how you guys will create a repository in our organization, how you can create branches, and how you should commit to your branches, and how the uh, code reviews will work, how you can manage your tickets and something like that. So this will be a brief demonstration. There will be several things I'll show you, but many of the things are actually not possible to show it at once, like all at once. So that if you have any questions, you are feel free to ask me anytime, and I'll explain to you. Okay, so this is our repository for Wayne State University CSC 4110. As you can see that there are several repositories in here for the previous semester and the current semester. So each team member, like the lead of the team member, have to create a new repository for their project. For example, I am creating a new repository for testing purpose. So let me just create and give this project a name. So this name will be similar to your project name. So if your project name is craftmate, you'll name this project as craftmate. So there are like several templates, so you don't have to use that. You can provide a description. Whatever description you will provide here, it will be included into the readme file if you choose to tick it. So let me just give it a description like this project is a demo for CSC 4110 GitHub usages. Make it a public repository, and also add a readme file. Please check this file, because if you don't check this file, sometimes it will not create a main branch. So whenever you are working on your local machine, you have to create the main branch and push it. So it is a bit like annoying to do so. So I'll just by default create a readme file. So I will hit on create repository, and this creates my new repository. So there are like several things that you can explore in here, like the forking will fork this entire project to your personal profile. And right now this project belongs to this organization. So if you fork it to another organization or maybe your profile, it will create a copy of it in your profile. You can also star it, and you can also watch it. There are like several tabs over here, like for issues. Here you will create your issues based on your SRS documentation and the bug posting. For example, if I go to new issue here, I just want to post a bug. So let's post a bug like this feature is not working. Okay, so now I have searched the existing issues. Okay, after merging changes from Mr. X, I am facing an issue when I try to log in. Maybe a simple description. And what is the expected behavior? So login should work without any issues, and person with valid login credentials should not have any problems while logging in. Steps to reproduce in this environment: start with this config. Okay, so start server, then go to login. So why do you need this sorry need this step? Because sometimes it is harder for another person to reproduce those bugs, so we need this section. Environment, like which environment are you using? For example, some of you are developing Android or iOS applications, so write in here like Android. or node and npm versions, or just hit create more. So this will create a new bug ticket, and after you have worked on it, you'll need to close these bugs. So if I go to issues now, you can see that there is a bug. I'll also need to like add some labels over here so that I can easily identify all of those bugs. And this is the pull request. Like whenever you are trying to merge some changes from your branch to the main branch, you'll create a pull request, and one of your teammates has to go through your codes, and if there is any room for improvement, he can suggest you, and after you have like made those changes, he can review it again, and if everything seems good to go, you can merge your code. Actions will be required later, like it will be required when you try to automate some things like your testings, some deployments, anything like that. We're not going to use the project section, wiki section. So wiki section will be used for holding your meeting minutes, your sprint planning meetings, and etc. Security not needed for now. Insights, this actually shows you like your contributions. You can also check your core frequency dependency graph, like the libraries that you are using, how much of this is dependent. And if you go to settings, you can like change the project name, change the default branch which is main, and you can also delete stuff and like archive this repository, change the visibility, and etc. So this is like the most basic bare bones structure of your GitHub project. So you have created your GitHub project. Now what you need to do is like clone this repository in your local machine. By local machine, I mean the computer that you are working on, or you will be working on. So I can hit the code button in here, and there are like several options. Like if you have GitHub desktop installed, it will already show you in here, like open with GitHub desktop, or you can download the zip file, or if you have code spaces access, you can open the repository inside GitHub, so you don't need to worry about like any external IDEs like Visual Studio. And I have Copilot, so there is something I can use, but I think you don't have access to it. Whatever. So let's just copy it and clone this project in our local machine. So you can do it in like many different ways. So if I open GitHub desktop application, this is available in Windows, Mac, and Ubuntu or Linux. So you'll not have any problems finding it. And why am I using it? Because it provides GUI for like easy user interaction, and you can view your changes, like you can commit and merge everything from in here. So there is an option, there will be some option like if you open GitHub desktop, if you go to files, you will find clone repository. So in here, this will show you, like if you are on github.com, it will show you all of your private and public repositories. And there sometimes it also shows your organization repositories. But what I will do, I'll go to URL, paste the URL for the testing project, and hit clone, and this will clone the entire project. And if I hit now open on Visual Studio Code, it will open the Visual Studio Code, and you can see that it opens in a like welcome scenario. And if I go to readme, yes, this is my project that was in GitHub. Now our course requires you to work on your own branch. Okay, so you can sometimes work on main, For example, if you have some little bugs that you need to resolve before the presentation, some typos, you can do it on main, but it is not recommended. Always do it on your own branch, then merge those branch to the main branch with a code review or pull request. So right now I'm on the main branch. So I'll need to create a separate branch and I'll have to work with that. So what I can do, I can open terminal in here. So make sure that you are on the correct directory. So I'm on my correct directory. I can write something like ls to check what files are in there. Then I can do some like pretty basic GitHub commands. Like I'll need to create some branches. So let's see what branches we have. We just have the main branch in here. So let's create a branch called git checkout hyphen b, then name it with like test branch 1. Okay, so this will create and switch to a new branch called test branch 1. You can also see it in here, like this says test branch 1. And if you go to like this source control, you can see that there is a thing called publish branch. I'll go back to it later what it does. And yeah, there should be some graphs. Yeah, this is a git graph. So this is showing my local git graphs actually in here, so that you can see that I'm on my starting point. I have the test branch 1, main branch, and the head. Okay, so let's just add some files in my branch, and I'll go through like how you can stash those changes, how you can commit, and how you can publish your branch. Let's just create two directories first. uh, let's create a directory called backend and another directory called frontend. And now let's go to backend and create a new file called for example like home.java. Okay, so this will create a new Java file right here. And for demonstration, I'll keep this front end file empty. So now let's go back to the main directory of our project. Or you don't need to actually go back. I'm just going back for like showing you some stuff. And right now I can either stage my changes from this option right here. Like if I click here, it will show me the changes, or I can also do stuff like git add from here. So let's just now do git add. Then we can specifically select a file, or we can just select all of the changed file by writing this command. If I write this command, this will select or stage all of the changed files. But if I do like this backend then home.java, this will only stage the file that I have specified. So let's do this. Like let's go back to backend and create a new file called home java, then like contract.python file. Okay, so I want to stage and commit this contract file, but I don't want to commit just yet the home.java file. So what I can do is like git add backend. I need to go back because it will not work if I type the directory from within the directory. So git add backend, then I want to add the contract.py. Okay, now you can see that this contract.py has been added to the Git. Then we can do like git commit minus m, then add a commit message like added contract python file. Okay, this will add our contract.py file in our branch. So yeah, so this is now added, and now I can do some comment like now I want to add all of the files. So git add all, then I can do git commit minus m added all remaining files. So this will add this home.java file. Now after committing these changes are only visible in our local machine or our local Git repository. So if I go back to source control, and there should be a visual. Yeah, right now here you can see that it was our initial commit, and we made a commit called added contract.python file, and our latest commit was added all remaining files. So if I go back to our GitHub, uh, like the GitHub website, and hit refresh, we won't see any changes. Even our branch is not present in here. So there is only one branch which is called main, and this is the default branch. So what is happening here? So far all we have done is in your local machine. It is not published in the GitHub website. So what you need to do is like publish this branch first. So click on publish. This will publish your branch. Now you can see that it is automatically showing me test branch 1 had recent pushes 2 seconds ago. So this is saying that I have created a new branch and it has some pushes. So hit refresh again, then I can see that there are 2 branches, and I can switch the branches from in here. So far in your main branch you just have the readme file, and if I go back to test branch, here you can see I have the backend and the readme file. So the question is, why there is no front-end folder in here? We created the front-end folder in here, right? So where is it? So the way GitHub or any Git works is that if the folder is empty, we cannot actually add it to like any source control. So for example, if you actually need to add some empty folder to some source control, for example, if you are uploading some images and you want to store them inside the server without any like any database, you have to create an empty folder and specify that destination from your code. So if I run this code now from like any other machine, I will not find the front end folder. So my code will break and it will not run. What can we do in this case? We can go back inside the front end folder, and we can create a new kind of file which is called .gitkeep. So this will create a spaceholder file called .gitkeep. You don't need to add anything in here, but as this is a valid file, now if you like commit and push, this file or this directory will be published in your GitHub website. So in here I can just press this button. So I'm showing you another way to commit and push your changes. So I'm stashing my changes or staging my changes, not stashing. Then I can create a commit message like publishing front end directory. Then I can commit and I can press on sync changes, and this will update my code in GitHub website. So if I hit refresh now, I'll have this frontend folder in here. Okay, so this is the default workflow. Now if I go back to main, I cannot see the changes yet. So what I need to do right now, I need to create a pull request to merge the changes that I have made in my test branch 1. So I'll create a pull request if I click right here. So this will ask you to provide a title or a description. Your task is to what you have to do when you are contributing to your project is like you have to do it very carefully. You have to add a perfect title and a description that will show you, that will demonstrate what you did. So I can write in here, created backend and front-end structure. Then I can assign some reviewers in here. So I can just click and add someone from the list of people in here for review. Please select one of the reviewers from your teams only. And yeah, now I can hit the create pull request, and it will first check for if this pull request can be merged automatically. If there is no merge conflict, you can just check those codes from like commits, sorry, from file changed. You can see those changes in here, as these were just empty files, so there are no changes. You can hit viewed and review changes, like I have reviewed the codes, and hit approve. Okay, okay, so I cannot do it because this is my own pull request, so I can just submit a review. Yeah, so my review is inside, I can see I'm a participant in this review. So I can just create merge this pull request. I can add a message in here and confirm merge. So after you have merged a pull request, you can go back to your main branch, and you can see that your pull request has been merged. You can also view it from the commits message. Here you can see that I have merged my pull request. So what can you what you need to do and what things you need to avoid. Right now your main branch and all of them are merged. So if I check out the main branch from here, like git check out main, so this will show you a message like your branch is behind origin main by 4 commits, and this can be fast forwarded. Use git pull to update your local branch. So this is telling me that my local branch is not updated, so I need to update this first. So I need to write git pull, and this will update my local branch to whatever state the remote branch which is on GitHub is. So let me demonstrate you another thing which is called merge conflict. Project, you will be working with 3 or 4 people, and everyone will have their own branch. And sometimes it may happen that one like multiple person is working on a same file. I'm saying again, multiple people are working on a same file. So this occurrence may occur. If I demonstrate it right now, let me create another branch from here. Let's create git check out test branch 2, and I have to put a -b over here so that it also creates a new branch. Okay, so this switched to a new branch, and this branch is in sync with the main branch. So whatever was in main branch, I have this right now. So let's go to contract py and let's do some coding. Like I will use a copilot to like do the codes faster. Uh, so this is a working Python file. I can just run it. Like I need to go to my backend folder. Then I can do like a Python 3 contract py. Yeah, this is our actually running code. I have added a feature. I am testing it, and now I can just merge these changes to the main branch. Okay, so I am doing like I am going over here. I can staging these changes. I can doing some comments like I have created new method called add. That's it. This is a comment message. I'm commenting it, and as this is a local branch, I can just hit publish branch and it will be published on GitHub website, as you can see right here. Okay, now let's imagine a scenario where person B was working on this branch, like the test branch 2, and person A is working on uh, test branch 1. So I can switch my branch, git checkout test branch 1, I guess. Yeah, so now I am on test branch 1. You can see here that this branch is up to date with test branch 1. Okay, so I can do some changes right here, like def subtract ab, then if the main subtract ab. I have also written a new function and I am testing those function. Let's see if this works. Python 3 contract.py. Yeah, this is working. So what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna go ahead and do a commit. But before that, person B, what they did is like they have merged their changes to the main branch. So let's go ahead. Like all of this is okay. I'm not adding or removing anything. So creating a pull request. Now I'm merging those pull request, confirm merge. So if I go to testing demo, I'm on my brain branch, backend, contract.py, and I can see the addition function right here. Okay, now still another person is still working on their branch called the test branch 1, and they have some changes. I am not seeing like whatever that is in here, so I'm just staging my changes and adding a commit message like added subtract method. Okay, I have committed it. Now I am syncing the changes. Syncing the changes mean that whatever is in my local machine will be now on GitHub. Right, everything is working fine. Now let's go to testing demo. Let's change our branch to test branch 1. Now I want to merge my code to the main branch. Open a pull request. Yeah, right here you can see that I am having a thing called merge conflict. So what is a merge conflict? If two people are working on a same file, uh, more likely on a same function or like same method, if you both are trying to merge the code together, you'll face this merge conflict. And merge conflict doesn't mean that you cannot even merge those codes. You can merge those code, but you will have to do some work. So like I can just create a pull request, and this will fail right here. Yeah, this will fail. And if I go to resolve conflict, this will actually show me where is the merge conflict. So this came from test branch 1, like this section, like the indicated by this testing arrow, like left sided arrow with test branch 1. This came from test branch 1, and this section already resided on main branch. So what can I do? I can do like, yeah, this person added the add function and I have added the subtract function, and we both have main. So we cannot have like main two times in a file, in a Python file. So what we can do, we can just remove this one. We can uh, for example, we can write like print subtract 5 comma 3 in here, and we can remove this one. We also have to remove this arrow, and we also have to remove this arrow. So this file is now resolved, so there is no merge conflict. And if I like click on mark resolved, this will be checked and I can commit this merge. So this will again check if there is any merge conflict. If there is no merge conflict, I can just merge the pull request. So what can we do if we want to avoid this situation? This was a simple situation where removing two lines may have solved the problem. The question is how you can avoid this kind of merge conflict. So whenever you start working on something, maybe a new branch, or like start working on your branch, make sure that you merge the main to your branch, then you start working. And after every changes, try to merge your changes to the main branch. So this is how like everything will work. And you can even like create some branches from here. Like I can write like test branch 3 in here. This will automatically create a new branch and switch it to the test branch 3. Now if I go back to Visual Studio Code and type git branch, this is actually showing me main, test branch 1 and test branch 2. So where is my test branch 3? So as this is my local branch, it will not like fetch all of those changes automatically. You can configure it, but normally it won't fetch anything automatically. Check your remote branches by git branch -r. This will show you your remote branches, and as you can see that it already has this git branch 3, test branch 3, and you can check out git checkout. I'm already on that branch, so it may like show an error. Yeah, because I'm already on test branch 3. So this is how you can create a branch on GitHub, and you can just start working on your local machine from here. Yeah, so this is some basic things that you need to remember while working on your project, and make sure that you have added these uh, folders correctly, because if you add some things that are not supposed to be in a GitHub, it may break your project, or it may prevent you to do some assignments in the future. As I have talked in the class, like write your git ignore file properly and test that if it includes some unwanted files or not. If everything works okay, then your GitHub readme, sorry, git ignore file is fine. Otherwise, you need to double check everything. And if you have any questions, please let me know through my email. Thank you.